G'day, I'm Stephen Page from Page Proven Family and Fertility Lawyers, and welcome to the Australian Family and Fertility Law podcast. Today I'm talking about Australians going to Colombia for surrogacy. You may have seen that surrogacy is available in Colombia. I would be very careful in undertaking surrogacy in Colombia. The first thing about Colombia is that surrogacy happens there in good numbers and it's unregulated. The Supreme Court, I should give it its correct name, Constitutional Court of Colombia has called on a few occasions in judgments for regulation of surrogacy in Colombia. It hasn't yet happened. However, I have talked earlier this year to a colleague who owns a surrogacy agency in Colombia. He expects that there will be a law enacted this year through Congress that will ban surrogacy, or so greatly restricted that makes it impossible for foreigners to undertake surrogacy there. So the risk in undertaking surrogacy, one of the big risk in undertaking surrogacy in Colombia is that you're halfway through your journey and then suddenly the roller doors are pulled down. And I've seen surrogacy crises before. I've seen clients go to places like India and Nepal, Thailand, Cambodia, the Mexican state of Tabasco, Greece in 2023, Argentina in 2024, and of course the pandemic. And I can tell you, you don't want to voluntarily put yourselves through that risk. Now, you may decide to go to Colombia and say, yes, everything's worked. We know how it happens in Colombia, which is the biological father goes on the birth certificate and subsequently there is a court order to remove the surrogate from the birth certificate and the other parent goes on the birth certificate at that stage. That court order takes 6 to 18 months to obtain. The ballpark cost of Australians doing surrogacy from home and back to home is about 120,000 Australian. But at the moment, while there are some aspects of surrogacy in Colombia that look good, namely that the intended parents are recognised as the parents, I worry about this issue that there may be laws that say don't come here, and that these laws, like the roller door, come down halfway through your journey. So if you're thinking about undertaking surrogacy in Colombia, have these words in your head. Be aware that if you live in Queensland, New South Wales or the ACT and you engage in commercial surrogacy overseas, you can be committing offences. And of course, as a lawyer, I have to say, don't commit offences. And if you live in South Australia, the Northern Territory or Western Australia, you can also engage in offences overseas, although it's not such a clear path, but there's still the pathway is there. And if you live anywhere in Australia and you engage in adoption as the form of surrogacy regulation overseas, then you can commit an offence, even if you live in Victoria and Tasmania. The process of surrogacy in Colombia, however, isn't by way of adoption, but I just put it out there. You've got to be so careful when you walk this tightrope. Get good legal advice first before you undertake your overseas surrogacy journey. Thank you for watching and listening to the Australian Family and Fertility Law podcast. I'm Stephen Page from Page Proven Family and Fertility Lawyers.